Amanda Marcotte has a terrific article today in Salon, and it's about why the Tea Party does what it does. Why are they driving us to the edge of what might be global economic collapse by questioning the debt of the United States and our full faith and credit, and that would ruin the treasuries, and as I said, it might take down the whole world economy. It seems like a dangerous thing to play with. Well, she brought up a great point, that they're actually largely religious, and since they are fundamentalists, that colors the way they think. So first, she points out that Pew Research shows that people who align with the Tea Party are more likely to not only agree with the views of religious conservatives, but are likely to cite religious belief as their prime motivation for their political views. And you should keep that in mind. So they're constantly talking about this started because we're fiscal conservatives and didn't like the bank bailouts. Of course, they never did anything about the bank bailouts, and of course, fiscal conservatism is not something that they care that much about. They just seem so vitriolic against President Obama, as we're about to explain more. But it turns out the one thing, and it was shown in the Pew study that we covered earlier in the show, that the one thing that binds them together the most is that they're fundamentalists. So it's just the old guys with a new name, right? So now, do you know that in a different poll that 20% of Republicans considered President Obama the Antichrist? 20% of Republicans. All right. And Jeffrey Cooner, and it's partly led by their leaders. Jeffrey Cooner is a Washington Times columnist, and he said that Obamacare would, quote, bring the destruction of the family and Christian culture. So giving people health care destroys Christianity. Interesting, how so? Well, Pat Nesserato of the Christian News Network accused the supporters of the law of committing idolatry, and I love this, and accused people who want health care of being covetous. You're coveting good health. How dare you? How unchristian of you. And if you're part of the people who brought us the healthcare program so that other people can be insured, helping your fellow men, Christians obviously wouldn't be for that. Jesus Christ hated helping other people, right? Bringing them to health, or even perhaps back from the dead, he would have been totally against that, right? Absurd. Now, Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council says that if once Obamacare goes into effect, that it would be, quote, the day that I will tell my grandchildren about when they ask me what happened to freedom in America. By the way, that's the identical line that Ronald Reagan used about Medicare, and then Medicare went on to become one of the most popular programs in American history. Freedom shockingly persisted. Turns out Reagan was totally and utterly wrong about that, and of course Perkins knows that, and nonetheless he persists. His real problem is that a tiny amount of profit might be blocked through this law, and that's what he's concerned about, his freedom to make even more money. Now, these guys are not remotely Christian, but they convince, unfortunately, a lot of the evangelical community in this country that it would be the Christian thing to do to hate Obamacare. Rick Phillips writes for Christianity.com. He insinuated that Obamacare might have been predicted by revelations in the Bible. Really? Jesus talked about Obamacare? Now he said, look, I'm not saying with certainty that that's what happened, but it seems like that's what they might be alluding to. And there will be a leader who will try to make you healthy. And that's the bad guy. That's awesome. And there's also a theory out there, and look, at least some of those leaders I just quoted there aren't pushing this, but it's all over the internet in right-wing circles, that claim that Obamacare is going to require all citizens to have a microchip inserted in under their skin. And when that happens, that's of course because of the mark of the beast. Oh, right, obviously. So, Amanda explains from there. She says, sure, crashing stock markets, soaring unemployment, and worldwide economic depression sounds bad, but for the Christian right, the alternative is fire and brimstone and God unleashing all sorts of hell on the world. So, you get that? So, once you believe that Obama is perhaps the Antichrist and he's going to give us the mark of the beast, you'll believe anything. And since that seems so bad and all that is coming because of Obama, etc., oh, well, the world economy collapsing, that seems like not a big deal in comparison. See, once you bought in to this certainty that the faith that your leaders are giving you is true, well, you've lost all sight of logic and reason. Well, then anything is possible. So she explains, there's a problem that extends beyond just the immediate manufactured crisis. The Christian right has become the primary vehicle in American politics for minimizing the problems of the real world while inventing the imaginary problems as distractions. God, that's such a beautiful way of putting it. She goes on to say, witness, for instance, the way that fundamentalist Christianity has been harnessed to promote the notion that climate change isn't a real problem. Average global temperatures are creeping up, but the majority of Christian conservatives are too worried about the supposed existential threats of abortion and gay rights to care. Think about that, man. As we have science saying, look, it is indisputable, the temperatures are going up. They're like, ah, they're gays! Plus, I don't believe you. Because, and this is me talking here, like I said, if you don't use logic as a way of making rational decisions, well, you've just given up on the concept of rationality altogether. Well, then it's a free-for-all. Everything is uncertain. I don't know if we don't care that 2 + 2 = 4. We don't care about the theory of evolution or the theory of gravity or any of the theories, and we don't care about science. Sure, it could have been the seven-headed dragon in Revelations that was brought upon by Obamacare that caused people to be gay, that caused the planet to warm up. Or maybe the dragons just breathed on us. Finally, Amanda Marcotte says, under the circumstances, it's no surprise that it's easy for Christian conservatives to worry more about imaginary threats from Obamacare than it is for them to worry about the very real threat to worldwide economic stability if they go along with their harebrained scheme of forcing government into default. You know, it's interesting because it actually reminds me of Muslim fundamentalists. You know, their leaders, get them all riled up and then get them to, sometimes in the extreme cases, in the case of the terrorists, get the fundamentalist Muslims to put on suicide vests and go blow themselves up. This is, in essence, a suicide vest writ large, where they say, who cares if we blow up the world economy? It doesn't matter, Jesus is coming anyway. In fact, that's what Michelle Bachmann said yesterday. Literally, she said, rejoice! Armageddon is coming and the Lord will return. So it's not something that they fear, it's something they look forward to. So whereas Muslim fundamentalists might blow people up one at a time, these guys would like to blow up the whole planet. And so the idea that you could reason with them and say, hey, why are you shutting the government down? Why are you questioning the full faith and credit of the United States? Don't you understand the ramifications? Well, the answer to that is obviously they don't understand the ramifications, nor do they care. Number one, they believe that Armageddon is afoot anyway, and number two, they like that idea. Finally, I leave you with a quote from Voltaire. Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. Well, that right there might be the best description of the fundamentalist Christian Tea Party in this country that we've ever had.